9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is David. I'm a web developer, and I like to write Python. This talk is going to be about the Go programming language. And before I get into anything, I want to kind of split programming languages into two categories, if you will. We have fast languages. You know, they're great. Oh, sorry, I skipped my slide. But we have fast languages. You know, we have your C++s, your Cs. You know, we have Java, anything with a compiler. And they're miserable to program in. You know, like pointers are shitty. Like managing memory, you know, that's horrible. It's god-awful. And then the other programming languages we have are slow languages. And that's anything, you know, with an interpreter. You know, our Python, our Ruby. I don't even want to talk about JavaScript, but whatever. And, you know, most of them are pretty good. Like, we like them. You know, we use them every day, or most of us at least. And, yeah, so I guess where does Go come in with all this? Well, a couple guys, they went to a C++ talk. They were like, hey, or they came out of it. They're like, hey, like, why is this as complex as it is? You know, I mean, do we need boost, standard lib? Like, what are we doing here? And you know, so they're like, oh, hey, let's make a programming language. We're smart. We've made a couple things. You know, we got, you know, a laundry list, if you will. And then yeah, so I mean, they're like, all right, yeah, let's go for it. Cool. And I guess, like, what is it? Well, it's compiled. It's statically typed. It's pretty small. Like, most of what you can do is in the standard library, or most of what you need, I should say. And it's really meant to help people write good software quickly. You know, I mean, as much as everyone loves how quick you can write Python, the Python interpreter just has a lot of overhead. And that's fine. I mean, it has its place. And actually, you know, they're also trying to sort of target, you know, this growing trend of making multi-core programming be, like, easy-ish to do without, like, you know, an actor model and all this other shit. And really, I mean, that part doesn't matter. You know, you don't need to worry about multi-core programming yet. But, all right, that's great. That's awesome. What does Go give us? Well, all right, we have, you know, a decent package manager. If you need to get a package, you type go get a GitHub URL, whatever. There's a ton of packages at this link. You should go to it. And I'll try and use that word less, but we'll see. The docs are pretty decent. You know, I mean, if you have it installed on your computer, you can just type go doc, your package. If you're looking for a specific function, you can type in the function name. And, you know, it has garbage collection, which a lot of systems folk are going to be a little upset about. But, you know, if you need to manage your memory, if, you know, you see something that's like a bottleneck, you can take care of it. You can just do whatever you need for that. The concurrency, I talked about this a little bit, but it's built in. It's part of it. There's channels, Go routines, a bunch of stuff that I can't even talk about because it's just, there's so much of it, and it's so awesome. But the one thing that I think a lot of Python people are going to be really upset about is that there's no notion of classes, and instead, you know, you have like a struct or an interface, and that satisfies some set of methods that something's asking to get implemented. And another thing that I think Python folk are going to complain about a little bit is there's no flow-based exceptions. I mean, if you're compiling something, there shouldn't be an exceptional case. You should have everything there for you, waiting for you. And like, people describe it as having a dynamic feel. So cool, but use it, and then you can make the choice for yourself, I guess. But, you know, people want classes. People like that. And I was like, all right, well, I need a programming example. Should I show, like, Python code that is exactly the same as Go? Should I show slices? Should I show built-ins? What's going to go on? And I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'll paint a bike shed. And so, right here in 19 beautiful lines of Go code, we have a bike shed, and we can ask it, hey, I want to paint you a color. And so, I guess, to go over this a little bit, you know, we're importing format because, we need to, you know, write something out somewhere. We're importing net HTTP because that's our HTTP library. And so here's our struct, here's our bike shed class. And in order to write a serve HTTP function, something that like will give you stuff, we specify what struct or whatever we're writing this function for, and then we specify the parameters that we need for our serve HTTP. So right here we have a response writer, W, and then our request that we just got from somebody. And then right here we're just writing out what we have. And so W is our writer that we're going to spit out the output to. And then, of course, our original statement, and then what color we want it. And then when we want to run our server, we make our bike shed right here, and then because this satisfies the HTTP function stuff, we have, we specify where we're hosting it from, or where we're serving it from, and then what thing we want to, serve. So, our little example. So we have our bike shed, and this is part of the dynamic feel. We could compile this, but we're just going to do go run. We're going to just go run it. It's great. And then our local host. All right. We want a color. What's our color? Let's do mauve. And then, the bike shed. Here, let me make this a little bit bigger. Clearly the bike shed should be mauve. We could even do like, oop. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, like we just made a server in 19 lines of code. That's awesome. That's sweet. But there's like so much more that I'd like to talk about, and it's such a small language that you can learn a lot of it in a very short time. But I recommend that you go here because this website will show you just all you need to know about programming in Go. It's great. And and then when you once you finish that, then you can decide if it's a good language or not, I guess. But that's my talk.